TCT presents Public Report, a look at the issues and events of importance to our viewing area. Now, here is your host.
Hi, welcome to this segment of Public Report. I'm your host, Kathleen Garrison. Today, my guest is none other than Mr. Joe Newton. He is a credit analyst. Thank you for being on the show today, Mr. Newton.
Thank you.
We know that you work for what, Tri-Merge Financial Group?
Tri-Merge Financial Group.
How long have you been in that group?
I founded Tri-Merge Financial Group in early 2007. It came from my thoughts that I've worked in the finance industry for the last 25 years, either as a finance manager, as a mortgage banker, and I started seeing a lot of the clients, their credit start to decline. And of course, with that, bad things happen to good people.
Right.
And so with the changes in the industry, I decided to found a company that could actually help the community.
Okay. And you've been doing it now for?
Actually, Tri-Merge has been in existence in the state of Michigan for 2 years now.
For 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know because I'm familiar with the credit portions also, and credit reports and credit repair and cleaning up. Mm-hmm. What is the process that Tri-Merge Financial Group do? What processes do you have?
Well, we're a lot different than a lot of other credit restoration services in that we take the Fair Credit Reporting Act of 2000, and we take it to the full extent, all the way to the letter. Okay. And the basis of the Fair Credit Reporting Act states that anything that's on your credit, whether it's negative or whatever, whether it's unverifiable or erroneous, it can be disputed.
Okay.
So what we do is we have we pull your, of course, with your consent, we pull your credit. We go over every trade line that's on your credit bureau. As well, we even look at the inquiries that have been introduced on your report, and we go over it, with you. We do what we call a credit interview.
Okay.
Once we find that whatever is erroneous or a negative aspect on your report, we actually propose dispute letters, and we send those letters to the three reporting agencies as well as the trade line holder, whoever the creditor is. Mm-hmm. And by the federal act, if the reporters if they do not respond to you to our dispute within 30 days, by federal law, it has to be removed from your credit report.
Okay.
And it's a 6-month program. A lot of these other agencies, they say that they can do it in a day or 15 days or whatever. But it is a long, arduous process, mm-hmm. and that's something to make it work and work right. Mm-hmm. That's something that we do.
Okay. Now, you let me know something about after the 6-month part. Mm-hmm. The 6-month process, there's something that your company offer, and I don't know if a lot of companies offer this, but I know your company does, where after 6 months, after you've gotten the credit report, gone over it with your clients, dealt with the dispute letters, got most of them dropped, or whatever, there's something else that you do, another step that you take. Just explain a little bit about that you do.
With our company, at the end of the program, after the 6-month program, obviously there's going to be some creditors that are going to respond.
Okay.
They're going to respond to our dispute letters. So obviously it's going to stay on your report. So what we do is we act as your debt arbitrator. So in other words, we'll say, well, Mr. John Doe owes you, we call the lender, we say John Doe owes you $1,000. Okay. Let's make this thing go away for pennies on the dollar. And 9 times out of 10, they accept that. Then we go one step further. We wait another 30 days, and then we dispute the comments, because most of the time it's going to say this debt was settled for less than the original amount. Okay. We turn right around and dispute the comment. Okay. and therefore actually removing that negative comment from the report.
Okay. If you need more information, please contact Mr. Newton. His information is up on the screen. Mr. Newton, one of the things is our nation, our city, our state has gone through a credit crunch. And things are different now than they were, let's use 2005, when I was in the mortgage industry and credit industry. Things are different now. And just go over a little bit of the difference, the changes. I know at one point credit scores were what mastered. It was what was in charge. You know what I'm saying? Everybody went by credit scores. It wasn't so much about if you had good lines of credit or so forth, but if you had a good score and if you didn't have any negative hits or any bad hits or whatever on your credit report, then you could get houses, you can get cars. But again, that was in 2005, 2004, back then. But now there's such a change in the industry. Just enlighten us a little bit about those changes and how we can still kind of master around it if possible.
Well, there has been some tremendous changes in the credit industry. In that there was a day, like you said, back in '05 when credit flowed freely. And a lot of credit was granted strictly on score. But now things have changed. The industry has gone through such a radical change now that score is just not the only driving force in this. That's why what we do at Tri-Merge is that as we're repairing your credit, you know, a lot of times back in the past they would say, don't do anything. You know, don't do anything while we're fixing your credit.
Right.
What we do now is we get proactive with our clientele. So therefore, we encourage our clients, you know, to accrue credit, and we direct them to certain places. Like if they want a car, you know, we direct them to where we have alliances with. One of our alliances is Holiday Chevrolet, which I'm a special finance representative there as well. And what we do is, as we're repairing the negative on your credit, what we do is we help our clients accrue positive credit. Okay. And so the turnaround process is a lot faster for our clientele. And of course that makes Tri-Merge a little bit more proactive, and it looks out for our clientele a little bit better.
Okay, so the difference is you accommodate the difference that's happening because of the change. More people are getting houses through your company or getting qualified.
They're getting qualified to get
homes, cars, even in this type of industry where, as example, we know our city is one that is in great turmoil when it comes to mortgages.
Right.
So you're telling us that our listeners and our people who are listening to the show can contact you, and you'll help them analyze their credit. You're not guaranteeing, but you're helping them analyze their credit, removing bad credit if possible. And even if it's not that it can't come off, you're helping negotiate or make a settlement for them. So that's really good, because people need that type of information.
Yes.
You know, we talked about identity. Because of the decline in businesses and homes and all of these type of things, you mentioned about the identity. Now there's an upgrade, and the identity theft, the assumed identities. Everybody's using different identities. I know it was done back in the day also, 2005. People would also use different identities or whatever, but now it's like it's on the loose. So, you have a lot of people. You can't get it yourself. We can create another identity, another person, so that they can obtain it. And what it's doing to people is destroying what they're doing. You can have somebody 80 years old that, has good credit. Hasn't applied for anything, but now they're messed up because someone else has gotten a hold of their credit and done things that they shouldn't have. So just give us a little information. Your company not only repairs the credit, but it helps with identity theft.
Yes.
So
what we do is, as you know, identity theft is one of the fastest growing crimes in America. What we do at Tri-Merge, we partner with another company by the name of LifeLock. They're a national company. And of course, what they do is, as we clean your credit, we help protect your credit. LifeLock will help you lock your Social Security number down. That's one of the biggest things is letting your Social Security number, date of birth, and address escape. And identity thieves, that's what they look for. So we help you lock that down. And if you are a victim of identity theft currently. We have all of the affidavits, and we can help you contact your creditors and of course the local authorities, to help fight a current identity theft as it occurs.
Okay, so you have the whole system, the whole program for people. Let's just go back a little bit to the credit repair. With the credit repair, what all do you offer? You offer the cleaning of the credit.
Yes. We offer the cleaning of the credit. We offer identity theft protection, as well. We offer new means of credit, such as cars, credit cards. We have a list of partners that we work with in order to for our public to be able to ascertain new credit as we're helping them clean up the derogatory credit.
Okay, now I know there's people out here that's going to that's watching the show, and they're like, okay, not my credit. You know, they can't help in my situation.
Right.
Just give us a few scenarios of the people who you have helped. Real briefly, just some scenarios of the people who you have helped. I know foreclosures is on just about everybody's credit,
Right.
you know, or late payments. So those type of people who have been told, can't do nothing. The mortgage industry is giving up on them. You know what I'm saying? The car industry giving up on them. Just give us scenarios of people who you've helped, you know, no names, but just the scenario of people who you've helped finance, you know what I'm saying? Just get their life back.
Well, we've helped people all over the country. We've had scenarios where I've looked at credit reports where this completely all negative. Okay. You're looking at 47 trade lines negative. Now we can't remove all of those. However, we have successfully removed most of those off of people's reports, as well. Even the smaller things, where a person may have a bankruptcy on their report. We've successfully removed bankruptcies off of people's reports. Old information, even a single trade line. I had a guy in Texas where his wife charged some stuff on his credit card, and we successfully disputed that, and it was removed from his report.
So you can help someone that has four foreclosures, repossession, late payments. What is your process for the late payments? Real quickly, if someone has a 90-day, 60-day, they can be helped with that.
They can be helped.
Okay, we have today Mr. Gerald Newton, and you've given us so much information, and we thank you for that. If you're out there and you need credit repair, credit analysis, if you need help repairing anything on your credit, getting things disputed, Mr. Newton is the person you want to see for Tri-Merge Financial Group. It's important that you protect yourself and protect who you are and protect your companies, and that's what Mr. Newton does, and you've given us so much vital, important information, and we thank you for that. I'm Kathleen Garrison, and I've been your host today on Public Report. Please continue to watch, and so we can give you more fulfilling information for your daily life. Until next time.
TCT presents Public Report, a look at the issues and events of importance to our viewing area. Now, here is your host.
Welcome back to Public Report. I'm your host, Dana Timor, and we now have with us Gerald Newton from the Tri-Merge Financial Group and also from Bob Sachs Automotive Group. Thank you so much, Gerald, for being here with us.
It's good to be here.
The issue that we're speaking about now is one that can touch, potentially harm, or help every single citizen, and that is credit and the process of credit protection as well as credit restoration. You can't get enough of this topic because it's something that, again, can make or break you. I recently saw a show where they were saying that even for the police department, they're now checking credit to make sure that you have integrity. So it's not just credit for getting a loan or credit for getting a car, credit for getting a home. It's credit for your employment. And so it makes a difference, and it makes a big impact on what your overall lifestyle is going to be, making sure that you have that credit worthiness that everyone needs so much. So, Mr. Newton, we thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
And I ask you first, what is your background in finance?
Well, my background, I hold a bachelor's degree from Fort Lewis College in business finance. That's Fort Lewis College, Colorado.
Okay.
I spent 20 years in the automobile business as a finance manager.
Okay.
Spent 4 years as a loan officer in the mortgage industry. And that's what made me go into the credit rebuilding, credit restoration business.
Okay, so that's been a part of who you are for a long, long,
Long
time. For those who don't know, when you're in the auto industry and in the mortgage industry, you need to make sure that your clients are okay so that you can get paid, right?
That's a true story.
Right. So how did that affect you? We know that there's obviously some loans and car deals that have not gone through
Right.
Because of credit issues that they may have had. How can you help them, or what do you do to help citizens, clients who may not have the best credit?
Well, what we do at Tri-Merge Financial Group is that we do pure credit restoration, and that entails pulling a person's credit profile, examining through a credit interview between ourselves and the client. We do a credit interview. We make sure that every trade line or line of credit that's on their credit report is either true or factual. And if it's not true or factual, we will dispute that for that particular client. It's a tedious process, but it's painless. And I choose to believe that having a decent credit report is really key for life right now. Everything in our everyday business, everyday life is generated by your credit score.
Right.
So that's how Tri-Merge Financial Group came about, in that we wanted to help the community learn more about their own credit and how to restore their credit. And a lot of creditors won't tell you this because it's their job not to, but it's something that we feel very strongly that we want to help the community.
Wonderful. Now, you mentioned that it is a tedious process.
Yes, yes.
One thing that I like is that you did say that it is tedious. You're not going to come here and tell people that we can do this in one day, we can get you done in 5 hours, painless process, we can definitely get everything off of your credit report. That's something that I've seen a lot of companies tell you, that we can absolutely do it, and one day you come in on Thursday, on Friday, it's all done. You said it's a tedious process, but it's tedious not on the part of the consumer, right?
No.
Okay.
It's tedious on our part.
Okay.
As far as the consumer is concerned, we choose to tell the consumer that it's an interactive process, in that they have to sit down with us, and we go over every aspect of their credit report, up to and including to make sure that their date of birth is correct. There's certain parts on your credit report that list alternate names, or AKAs,
Right.
and those need to be correct. There's so many aspects of your credit report that are not privy to the public, that we want to go over with our consumers to make sure that every aspect is correct.
Okay. And if it's not correct, and many people don't realize this, if there is an aspect of your credit report in any way, shape, or form that's incorrect, by law, it has to be taken off. Talk about the Consumer Protection Act.
The Fair Credit Reporting Act of 2000 states that any inconsistency, anything that's wrong on your bureau, on your credit report, can be challenged. Okay, we live in a society right now that there's so many inconsistencies on everyone's credit report that the federal government decided to allow it to be open to everyone. So basically, what the law states is, if the particular person, if they challenge a certain trade line on their credit report, if the lender or the credit reporting agency, if they do not respond to that challenge within 30 days, by law, and by the Federal Trade Commission, it has to be deleted.
Okay.
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 And that's what we do. We just use the federal law, to help our clientele.
Okay. Now, isn't there also an aspect, a part of that law that says if you ask for a creditor to prove that that's your account? That if they don't do that, it also has to be eliminated? What's the time factor on that as well?
They have to prove that that is that particular trade line that's on your bureau, that they have to prove that it is your debt. We've had particular instances where a person, when they were 12 years old, had a trade line put on their credit. Now, at 12 years old, you're not old enough, to assume credit.
Exactly.
And we've had that particular trade line removed by just simply sending, their an explanation, a challenge to the entry, to the incorrect entry, and their birth certificate.
Okay.
Because they weren't out of age to even assume credit. So there's many aspects like that we will be able to help the public with.
Wonderful. And you just segued into a very, very important topic, and that is child identity theft. We don't think about that often. There are two areas of identity theft I would like to speak about. One being that I've been a victim of identity theft twice. Now, I've always said you'd think you'd go after somebody who had a lot of money, but they came after me nonetheless. But my identity theft was not just a typical identity theft that you find you'd leave your credit card number out, or you've heard about people taking pictures with their camera phones in the stores and that of your credit card, or using your social security number. Mine was by way of checks, ordering checks through my bank. And there were people who were disguised as employees, but they actually go in as a group, and their whole point is to get checking account information. Have you heard of that before?
Yes. One way that we help overcome identity theft is that we have an identity theft packet.
Okay.
And basically what our packet entails is, of course, as soon as you realize that your identity is being stolen, you must report that to the authorities, to the police department and all the proper authorities.
Right.
And our packet does give you step-by-step information on how to do that.
Okay.
But we also use identity theft protection services. We use one of the largest theft protection services in the country, LifeLock.
Okay.
And basically, what they do is they lock your assets down, so that without your particular approval, no one can intercept or investigate or intrude upon your credit.
Okay.
So that's part and parcel of our service as well.
Wonderful. If you have any experience with credit fraud, or you need to protect your credit and need some more information, you can contact Mr. Newton by way of the information shown on the screen. The other aspect we wanted to talk about was the child identity theft. How do we protect families against that? Because we know I have had a situation where I've heard of a young girl who had her identity. It wasn't identity theft. Her mom put a bill in her name and then didn't pay it when she was a small child.
Right.
And then it came time for her when she was of age to buy a home and could not do that. So you talked about that should never have happened, that they should have been able to correct that. But what about people who are outside of the family who are preying on these children? How do you protect them?
Well, there's many ways of protection for child. For one thing, nowadays, every child has to have a social security number.
Right.
Those type of particular items, they should always be locked down, no matter what. And as well, my particular service has LifeLock has identity theft protection designed just for children.
Okay.
And a service like that would cost for a child $25 a year.
Wonderful.
What is $25 a year to protect yourself?
Your child's future.
Yes, exactly.
Definitely. Also, another area that I wanted to get into just a little bit is being able to repair your credit. We talk about credit restoration. We talk about the process, but a lot of people think that it's a very, very intimidating process. We said that it is a tedious process, not for the consumer. What I'm looking here, you gave me your form to request the initial information. In order for you to start this process, it is literally one form, your name, your address, your social security number, and your signature that allows Mr. Newton to get started. That's all there is. That's all you have to do. And again, you can contact him by way of the information shown on the screen. It's a very simple process for you. Let him do all the work, because that's what he's there for. Also, he's there, you need a car, you need an auto. We know we live in a large metro area, live in a large metro area, and we need to have a vehicle. And many people are intimidated because they know that there's bruised credit or scarred credit. Mr. Newton can help you get through that when you see him at Bob Sachs. And Bob Sachs is in Farmington Hills.
Right.
And you can see him there if you're in need of that service. You can go to Tri-Merge and have him help you with that restoration. Or again, he himself and many other people are there at Bob Sachs to help you. Again, they're not promising, I'm going to get this done lightning fast. Those commercials wear me out where they say that, but you can trust this group to be able to get you through that. Another thing I wanted to talk about, we only have just a few minutes now, just a few seconds now to talk about. I also saw a show where people who are over in Iraq fighting, their wives and could be husbands, but I saw one in particular where a wife was being habitually harassed by this creditor, and they threatened her and said they're taking the sheriff to her house. She's going to lose her home. She's going to lose her car. She's going to get arrested. And her husband took care of everything, and now he's over fighting in the war. Right. Is there protection for that for spouses and military people?
Yes,
given
there
your
is.
military background, you know
Yes,
this
there
as
is.
well.
It is called the Military Finance Act.
Okay.
It came about in 2002. Basically, it states that a military person that's in a war zone fighting cannot be harassed or bothered by any particular creditors. So all the people out there, if they are military personnel, they can give me a call, and I can help them in what steps to go through to alleviate themselves.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Newton, for being with us today. Mr. Newton, again, contact him because he can give you he has a wealth of knowledge, and he give you those tidbits of information that you may not be privy to. So many things. We are protected. Consumers are protected, but you just need to know someone who knows that law. We thank you so much for tuning in today. This has been Public Report. Our issue has been education. It has been education about consumer credit and about credit restoration. Thank you again for tuning in with us. Watch us here every week. Again, I'm your host, Dana T. Moore, and we wish you all the blessings in the world.